we're gonna start up with questions here. First question will be from Sal Capaccio.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, congratulations. Welcome to Buffalo.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't intentionally use your first name because I want you to tell me how to say it.
Yeah. Edefuan Ulofoshio.
Edefuan Ulofoshio.
Yep. Eddie for short.
You do call, okay, so you go by Eddie, that's okay?
Yep.
All right. Just want to make sure. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Read you were a walk-on at Washington, and then you became a full-time starter. Take us through that journey a little bit and what that's taught you.
Yeah, so I played at Bishop Gorman. Basically, like at the end of my senior year of high school, had 2 FCS offers, and just kind of wanted to take a chance on myself because I felt like I wanted to play in the highest level. So I talked to my parents, talked to my linebacker coach, Chris Brown, and we ended up going to the conclusion that we wanted to walk on to a school. So I looked up like the upper echelon of Pac-12 teams, like, Cal, USC, Oregon, all those guys. And I decided I wanted to walk on to Washington because they had 2 walk-ons that were playing at a high level. And, I just loved the way they were playing on defense. And before I even got the chance to ask them, they offered me a preferred walk-on spot. So I took it on the spot.
Have you met and talked with Bobby Babich and Al Holcomb here in Buffalo?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I talked to them a lot. Like, I met Coach Holcomb at the Combine, like, literally, it wasn't even like an interview. Like, it was basically like a coaching session. And, we were just communicating, talking about, like, how to fit this, like, what type of eye progression we were. And it was so unique, because he worked out with John Timu when he was coming out. And, I was just asking about him, and then he was, like, giving me all these rave reviews. So, I just know that like that guy's gonna, bring the best out of me just based off, who he's worked with. So,
Eddie, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, this is Catherine from the Buffalo News. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How would you describe your skill set? Just what are the Bills getting in you?
I would explain it as water. You put water into the cup, it becomes the cup. So I feel like I'm very adaptable to the game of football. So, I mean, if you want to, play knuck and buck, I can turn the ice and blow things up as good as anyone else. And then if you want to spread out, like play the air raid and all that, then I can be very fluid in routes, and I won't be, just like a standing like pole, like in coverage. So I feel like I'm very adaptable to the game.
What gives you that adaptability? Like, where does that come from?
I think it's a mixture of just learning and understanding the game, just like knowing where you're supposed to be at any given moment. And then just like my athletic ability, just being able to get to that point is just as important, just like not in terms of speed, but I can use strength as well. So I feel like I have a whole tool set.
Awesome. Thanks and congrats.
Thank you.
Eddie, Mookie Hawkins, Waffle Sports Cincinnati. How you doing? Congrats.
I'm doing great.
Just tell us, what was that moment like when you heard your name called?
Oh my gosh, it was nuts. It was nuts because like literally Buffalo had like 4 picks like early in or like 2 picks early in the round. I'm just like, okay, like is it gonna be them? Like, and then they picked someone else. I'm like, okay, like now I'm starting to get a little like antsy. And I literally texted Dom Hampton, who got picked right after me, like, bro, I'm stressing. And the second I sent that text, they called me and I was like, oh my God, thank you. So yeah, it was nuts. It was probably something I'll never forget.
Now, was you hoping that it would be Buffalo?
Honestly, yes, because Buffalo, ironically enough, has been like a team that like I would study all the time, like in college, with the Boer staff and then with Coach Pete and Coach Lake's staff, like we'd always watch Buffalo Bills tape, and we always would rave about how fast Edmonds and Milano were playing. And I just like, we literally try to mimic that. Like we took a lot of calls from you guys at defense throughout the years. So when I heard Buffalo, it literally brought a smile to my face because it's just like a whole full circle moment. So I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. Congrats, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, Eddie, Alex Frasky, Batavia Daily News. Welcome to Buffalo.
Thank you.
I was going to ask you about coming in playing with Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard and your impressions of those 2 players from afar. You answered it about Milano. What do you know about Terrell Bernard?
I mean, one of the most elite linebackers probably cores in the NFL. I don't think that they get enough credit, in my opinion, because I'm savant of the game, and I watch everybody, and just the way that those guys fly around, that they get to their spots really quickly and effectively. The most important thing is like it's huge, and it's going to be tremendous for me to learn and like develop from those guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Eddie. Congrats on getting drafted. When in your conversations with Al Holcomb and Bobby, what did they tell you about how they view you in their scheme and kind of your traits and what they kind of want to utilize and where they're going to kind of put you?
Most of our conversations were just more centered towards like, the defensive scheme, how we like progress. We really focus on like intangibles and like what I need to get better on throughout the offseason process. And I took what they said, he was really honed in on just like my hand placement in terms of like striking. He really opened my eyes about how I can see certain coverages. So I mean, it's been great, man. Just like it's great because like we actually got a lot of work done and it actually can come to fruition because I'm coming here. So it's awesome.
Did you expect that going into the draft process that you were going to, like you said, get so much work done in these meetings with coaches?
I mean, people take them as interviews, but I always took them as just like opportunities to learn and get better. Like almost in every meeting I took, I asked like, what does it take to be one of the more elite linebackers in this league? And I just try to find ways to get better every day. And, just understanding that, Coach Al Holcomb, when he was in Carolina, he coached with Shaq Thompson. So I asked him like, what was Shaq like? What made him better? I mean, like, what did you do to help him get better and stuff? So it's just awesome just to have a coach that has developed a lot of great linebackers, like basically, and that I could have the opportunity to be one of them too.
And did you play with Dalton Kincaid at Gorman?
I did not. I think he went to Faith Lutheran, but
Faith
literally
Lutheran?
I met him like 4 months ago. So I even made the joke like a while back and say like, hey, if I get drafted by Buffalo, like let me be your roommate. So it's gonna be funny.
That's awesome. Congrats again.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Eddie, yes, thanks for doing this. So just two quick questions. One, your injuries from 2021 and 22, the knee and the bicep are, were you completely, it seems like given your production this year, they're old news, you're completely healthy from those?
100% completely healthy.
And then, your combine performance kind of raised eyebrows, the best vertical jump, the best broad jump of any linebacker, the 40 time. I mean, did you get any feedback from scouts or anything that like that was better than people were expecting?
Yeah, most definitely better than what people were expecting. And you kind of know who you are going into the combine like system. Like you're only as athletic as you've always been. And throughout college, I've been trained by great strength coaches in Tim Saha and Rama Kifri, and I already knew that like my numbers were going to be like very solid. I knew they were going to be solid going in, and it's just like really focusing in on like that last like chunk of time, especially coming from a national championship. I knew that I could really have an opportunity to PR, and that's exactly what I did on that weekend. So, obviously it's great to know it, but it's all about execution. And I mean, those numbers are just a reflection of the people that I've worked with Exo Sports and the University of Washington. So, I mean, I give all the kudos to them.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Those are all the questions we have. Appreciate the time, Eddie. Congrats again.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.